It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is Karey Brown, broker-owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors here in Topeka, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. Today I'm here with Sara from Shockwave. Good morning, Sara.
Good morning.
So Sara is going to be telling us about Shockwave and what they do. They are an electric company.
Yes.
And they do all kinds of great stuff. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about some of the services they offer, and then we'll go into more detail.
Okay. Yes, I am with Shockwave Electric, LLC. My husband and I do own the business. We mainly do residential service contracting. So we service and repair homes and businesses, but do some remodel and new construction of homes and businesses. We do a little bit of commercial work when we have time, but mostly residential.
And you had mentioned earlier when we were discussing it, I know we're through the winter season, but we will be in the storm season. You guys also do generators?
We do. We are a Generac generator dealer, meaning that we can purchase and install and also service generators for your home. You can get them to run just the bare essentials, or you could get them to run your whole house. They automatically turn on, and they run off of natural gas or propane, whatever you have available at your home.
That's good to know. I know it's been a while since we've had some really bad snowstorms, thank goodness. Of course, it is 79 degrees, and we're supposed to get snow this afternoon, so we do live in Kansas.
Yes, living in Kansas during storm season or ice storms, we all know that we lose power. These generators are actually quite amazing, to have to run your house if you were to be without power for several hours or sometimes several days.
So say, for instance, you are doing a remodel job and you're wanting to add on, say, a room. What services do you guys, at what point should they call you?
If you're deciding to add on a room, definitely call us to see if your panel can handle more circuits and outlets. We also would do any of the extra lighting you're needing. Anytime you're messing with anything electrical, I would definitely call us.
I know whenever we added onto our house, there were periods of time where I would smell something burning. Yes. And that's when I would say, you know what, don't touch anything.
Definitely. If you smell anything burning or see any kind of smoke, definitely call an electrician.
Yeah. Sorry, Troy. That's just a part of the business. You get thrown under the bus.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting thing. Electricity is not something to play with.
It really is not.
So I know in our world, and I say our world as far as real estate's concerned, a lot of times whenever we're doing home inspections, we see a lot of do-it-yourself stuff, a lot of double tap breakers, a lot of the electrical panels that are outdated, that really don't support everything that a modern home now has in it. And occasionally we get to see duct tape used in interesting places that should not be having any duct tape at all. I know I've mentioned that several times. It still just boggles my mind to see leopard print duct tape on an electrical box. And plumbing, that's another cool place people use it. It's just not supposed to be that way.
Well, duct tape is what it is. It's definitely for duct work. It's not for electrical. They make electrical tape for that.
Yeah. It's not as pretty as some of the stuff I've seen here.
Electrical tape is normally black, so definitely not as pretty, but...
So whenever we're in a real estate transaction and we find electrical issues, Shockwave is definitely one that we call. Mm-hmm. Tell us what you guys do whenever you go out.
Well, you can do it before you get the actual inspection or after. You could always call us if you're interested in selling your home or purchasing a new one, and we would do a whole house inspection just to let you know what areas we think would come back as a ding per se on your electrical inspection. And then we always give estimates for that. We do also receive the actual electrical inspection report, and we'll go off of that as well. Come out, take a look at everything that the electrical inspector said was wrong, and give you an estimate on that to fix it.
So I know that there's a lot of talk about the Pacific Railway electrical box. What can you tell me about that?
Yes, Federal Pacific panels and Zinsco panels are both something you should look for. If you are purchasing or selling a home that has those, you definitely need to get those upgraded. They have both lost their UL listing, which stands for Underwriter Laboratories. When those circuits are overloaded, the breakers won't trip, posing a huge fire hazard. So definitely, if you have a Federal Pacific panel or a Zinsco panel, you definitely need to call us, and we'll come out and give you a free estimate to upgrade those.
And how much does upgrading a panel typically run?
It really depends on the size of your home and how many dedicated circuits you are running. I've seen them go anywhere from $800 to $2,000. So really, when you call us and ask us that question, we will normally ask to come out and take a look so we can give you an accurate estimate.
And on the older homes, you don't see it that often anymore, but the ones that are knob and tube, what all goes into upgrading those type of electrical panels?
Well, knob and tube wiring is a concern because they have splices and connections on them, and sometimes they're hidden in the walls. That's never a good deal because they can pose a fire hazard when they overheat. Our suggestion for that is if you know you have knob and tube wiring, definitely look into replacing the parts that are exposed. We don't suggest digging into walls and tearing up your sheetrock unless you're already doing that. But you would definitely want to run new circuits and take as much load off the existing knob and tube that you can.
And so does that involve, it does involve, I mean, it would have to, replacing the entire electrical box, not to mention the electrical wiring.
Sometimes, yes. Yeah. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes it's easy. If you're going to do an extensive remodel, of course we suggest just rewiring the house. Normally when you have knob and tube, you have an older panel too, so that will need to be upgraded as well. But sometimes if you're just doing a small remodel and you notice knob and tube in certain areas that are more exposed, we would definitely just suggest taking some load off of those by running other circuits and such.
So really it's just kind of piggybacking to help relieve some of the electrical load.
Absolutely.
Okay, well that makes sense. So you mentioned that you do some commercial work. What all do you guys do whenever it comes to that?
Normally, the commercial work we have done is just remodels. So we would take an existing commercial building and upgrade the lighting and the panel for the new owner.
Okay. So like build outs, like if they're changing out, say for instance, putting in what used to be a dentist office, now it's an insurance agent's office or something
Correct.
Like that.
Or a dentist office to a restaurant.
Okay.
We would definitely add the circuits for all of the appliances. We would change out any lighting and a lot of time upgrade the panel to support all of their load.
And you mentioned something about doing street lighting?
We do parking lot lights for commercial buildings. We just actually purchased a lift so that we have that at our office that we can come out and replace those pesky, tall parking lot lights.
Sounds like fun. Do you do Christmas lights yet?
That's funny because that's the first thing my husband said he was going to do with our new lift was put up our Christmas lights, and it didn't happen.
My husband owns a tree service, and we have the big, huge boom trucks, and mine don't either.
I will tell you this. The first thing we did with our lift was for a friend. We took it out to her in-laws' house because her husband got their drone stuck in a tree. And it was quite funny. So on our Facebook page, we have pictures of our new drone service.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about new construction. Right now, we don't have the boom that we used to have, thanks to the recession period that we went through. But there is quite a bit of custom building going on. What are the cool things that you guys do and some of the new technology that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of remodeling going on right now. Like you said, new construction hasn't been so great, but that's okay. Some of the main things we do for our customers are they have receptacles with USB chargers in them now for all of our millions of electronics that we and our children have. So you could just plug right into the wall with the receptacle, your USB cord. We also install wireless interconnected smoke detectors throughout your home. What this is if one of your alarms goes off, they all go off throughout the home and there's no wires needed. They're wireless and battery backed up. So if you have a fire in one bedroom, everyone, wherever there is a smoke detector, it will all go off so everyone will be aware. We change those out a lot. They're very handy. A lot of our customers are changing their can lights to LED lights and can trims. LED uses 75% less power than your normal incandescent can light. So we're doing that a lot for custom builders right now, changing out all of the fixtures to LED. Of course, your Generac home standby generators. That's something that a lot of people are doing now. It's just good to have. Like I said, they automatically come on within 2 minutes of losing power. And then just like in my house, if you have small kids that like to leave lights on all the time, you can put in occupancy sensors. They turn off when the room is empty. So that's always a big deal in my home. Lights on everywhere.
Yeah, mine too. And they're not small children anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be small children either.
I can be guilty of doing the same.
Yes.
This is Officer Mitch Soden with a safe driving tip from your Topeka Police Department. Your seatbelt serves many important functions. Cars are designed to crumple on impact, and the seatbelt will keep you restrained within the occupant area. The seatbelt is designed to absorb and dissipate forces through the large bone structures of the body through placement and stretching. Statistics show that those involved in collisions wearing seatbelts have faster recovery times and lower medical costs than those who don't. So please, buckle up.
This is Sergeant Colleen Stewart from your Topeka Police Department Crime Prevention Team. Spring is at your door, so are vacuums, alarm systems, magazine subscriptions, and fundraisers. Here's some information. Every peddler and solicitor is required to be licensed by the City of Topeka Clerk's Office, so ask for picture ID to confirm the name on the license. You have the right to see their license, and if they refuse, they can be ticketed. Make sure you call the police to report the incident. Sales are only allowed 1/2 hour before sunrise until 1/2 hour past sunset. Go to topeka.org to find out more. Together we can make Topeka the safest capital city in America.
Whether you explore your national forests and grasslands by car, motorcycle, four-wheel drive, or by an all-terrain vehicle, please remember that all-terrain travel doesn't mean all-terrain. Forest Service land managers have recently created detailed maps to show off-highway vehicle enthusiasts and others where they may legally operate motor vehicles. Remember to travel only on routes designated as open to motor vehicles, as shown on motor vehicle use maps available at Forest Service offices or by visiting respectedaccess.org. Click on the Motor Vehicle Maps link located on the home page. Follow these motor vehicle use maps to help keep national forests and grasslands in a healthy condition and to maintain public access to these beautiful backcountry landscapes. This message is brought to you by the nonprofit organization Tread Lightly, the USDA Forest Service, and this station, who remind you that respected access is open access.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
They've saved my family from financial ruin. It allowed me and my wife both to focus on the most important thing, which was the health and well-being of our son.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
when we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's been taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
So basically, whenever it comes to electrical wiring, what do you see most often that people need your services for?
Well, the thing we do the most are panel upgrades. Anytime you have circuits that are tripping and you can't get them to trip back on, there's obviously an issue. With all of these lovely windstorms that we have, most of our storms in Kansas involve heavy winds. So we do that a lot.
So back to the duct tape conversation, what are things that homeowners should consider not doing on their own?
Well, that is a loaded question. Some homeowners are capable of changing out their receptacles, their switches, and their lights, and some are not. Changing out receptacle, switch, and lights would be the extent of something I would suggest a homeowner do if they know anything about electricity. But obviously, if you're unsure, definitely call an electrician. I know my husband Greg is very good about answering any questions a homeowner may have. So if you do have any questions about something you're doing at your home, feel free to give us a call. And he, like I said, is happy to answer any questions.
So I know that there's a shelf life for switches and for outlets. Tip number one would be turn off the power to those sources whenever you're going to start messing with them.
Definitely.
But what is the typical, because I know we find that quite a bit where, homes, like older homes, don't have grounded plugs.
Correct. And that is a new city code law that all outlets need to be grounded. The shelf life for them, it's pretty common that they'll just stop working. Your outlets will just stop working and your switches will just stop working. And then you would call us and we'll come out and replace them.
I noticed that, in older homes, a lot of times they don't grab. Like if you go to plug in your vacuum cleaner and your cord just drops. Things like that. That's just a sign of a worn out plug, right?
It is. Sometimes it can just be reattached and the connections put back into place, and sometimes they just need to be replaced. Sometimes when your outlet isn't working, it is also your appliance. So keep that in mind.
And whenever you're doing, like, say, for instance, a kitchen remodel and things along those lines, what are some suggestions that you would give to homeowners during that time frame?
Well, definitely be aware that if you're buying a new dryer or a new range stove, a lot of the outlets are different now. You could have a 3-prong outlet and you may need a 4-prong outlet. So keep that in mind. A lot of homeowners just assume that when their range or stove arrives, they'll be up and going that night to cook dinner. And a lot of times they're calling us panicked because they need a new outlet.
And why is that? Are the guidelines changing for those types of things, or?
They are. They are changing, and I don't know what to say.
Back to real estate talk. Whenever we're having homes inspected, you guys are definitely a company that people will have out to have a look at the electrical work and, just to make sure that it's all safe. Report-wise, what do you guys charge to come out and do those things?
Our normal home inspection fee is $153. That normally takes about an hour, and we come in and just inspect everything. We put our meter and make sure everything is running at the correct amps. We would just check all of your vent fans and make sure they were working properly and venting properly. And then we would also go off of your inspection report and give you estimates on the cost to replace and fix those items.
And if your home isn't a newer home, and sometimes even if it is, and you've done your own custom work and not necessarily followed guidelines, and depending on where you live, Lawrence is much stricter, Douglas County is much stricter than Shawnee County, or any county that I can even imagine. Douglas County is just very, very strict. So basically, whenever they're doing things, what is the proximity to water as far as having a GFCI?
Well, a lot of the older homes do not have grounded receptacles. So one of the biggest things we see on the electrical inspection reports are that we need to ground the receptacles in your bathroom and kitchen. Normally, it's every receptacle in those areas that need to be grounded because they are near water. And those are with the GFCI, so they will automatically trip if there's an issue and not cause the fire that the old receptacles would.
Yeah, and the last thing you want is to be electrocuted because you've gotten, water too close.
That is very true. And please keep in mind in these areas that if you do have an outlet that's not working, there is a button you can push to reset your GFCI outlet.
Yeah. I know a lot of times we see where they have one GFCI and then the other plugs are tied to that GFCI.
Yes, you will see that, yes.
So just because it's not, every one of them that doesn't have the little red button doesn't mean that they aren't necessarily done correctly.
That is correct.
So I know that causes a little bit of panic for people because they automatically assume that it's not, and that's not always the case. I know a lot of folks that we know are looking to add on, like put out the man cave, the shop, and have it wired and all that good kind of stuff. Is that something you guys do?
Absolutely. We absolutely do that quite often, where we'll tie in power from your new shop to your existing house or panel. In some cases, you'll need to run a new panel. It varies, but we do definitely do that. We also do a lot of security lighting. I know we get a lot of customers that call in that have just had a break-in or some concerning things happening in their neighborhood. And we do provide motion detector lights and all that stuff to just make you feel a little safer.
What about if you're looking to add like a hot tub or a pool? Do you guys do that also?
We definitely do that. We work with pool companies and hot tub companies. So when they're installing that, you definitely need to hire an electrician to come out and put in a new panel for that and get an estimate on the cost electrically when you're thinking about putting in a pool or a hot tub, because there is that cost to consider as well.
So I know I joke about duct tape a lot. What is one of the funniest things that you've seen happen whenever you guys are out on a job?
Well, I definitely don't go out on the job, but I do hear the guys talk a lot, and they, of course, think it's funny when they get zapped. The mother in me doesn't think that's so funny. They did one time have to evict a snake from an electrical box. They were putting their hands into a panel, and they said there was nothing like putting your hand in the box and the black wire starts moving. They had to evict a big black snake from there.
I know the poor guy that worked on our hot tub once. Years ago, we had one, and whenever he had to crawl under to do some electrical work for it, it was through the hot tub company. Apparently, we have a thing about little ring necks underneath that, and he was throwing them out. All I got to say is there's not enough money for me to have ever done that job.
No. Or to get into a crawl space and have to deal with rodents. Because rodents do cause a problem. Sometimes they like to chew through all of your wiring. And
do you ever see like squirrels tear up wiring or anything?
Yeah, if they do get into your house, into your walls or your crawl spaces, they definitely will wreak havoc on your wiring.
That is good to know. I mean, they're all cute and stuff, but
not in your walls.
Not in your walls. I know that if you have your soffits, like if there's a hole in your soffit, they can get in there. So that's definitely one of those things that you want to take care of. And going back to new construction or just remodeling, do you guys ever do, like, say, for instance, sound systems or anything like that for TVs or anything?
We don't install them, but we will run the wiring that you need for it. It's not something that we're normally called out to do just that specifically, but if we are working with a customer and they are needing that done, we'll definitely take care of it for them so they don't have to call out another company. I know lately we've had a few calls for some outdoor TVs and outdoor kitchens and all that good stuff, so we've definitely been doing a lot more of that lately.
That sounds like fun.
Yes. March Madness.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to watch the games from their backyard.
My husband wants to put a TV out by the pool. I personally feel like, there should be someplace you can escape from a TV, but I don't think I'm going to win that one.
Probably not. And we do those, so please call us.
Yeah. So if you would, just kind of tell us again how to get a hold of you guys.
Absolutely. We actually just purchased a building in Oakland. So we are located at 1410 Northeast Seward Avenue. Our name is Shockwave Electric LLC, and our main telephone number is 785-357-8583. I do answer all the calls, so you'll always get me. My name is Sara. You can also email us at shockwaveelectric@sbcglobal.net, or you could visit our website at shockwaveelectric.net.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And again, you've been listening to Real Estate 101. I'm Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. And if you are looking to buy or sell a house, if you would give us a call, our number is 785-213-5188, or shoot us an email at preferredadvisorsteam@gmail.com, or visit our website at topekarealtyexecutives.com. So, Sara, tell us again how to get a hold of you guys.
Absolutely. Our company name is Shockwave Electric LLC. We are located at 1410 Northeast Seward Avenue. That's in Topeka, Kansas, also the Oakland area. Our main phone number is 785-357-8583. We do have a fax number of 785-357-0399. Shoot us an email at shockwaveelectric@sbcglobal.net. Visit our website at www.shockwaveelectric.net. Do keep in mind that we do service Topeka and Lawrence areas and surrounding towns.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.